She had given herself a week to go to as many interviews as possible, a week to find a more permanent living situation. Since she arrived in Stockholm, she had been sleeping on a sofa that belonged to an acquaintance that she didn't know all that well. Not more than a week, she had promised herself after the first night when she woke up with an aching back and after taking part in the most awkward breakfast of her life. It is 8 o'clock at night and Ella walks alone along the streets of Stockholm. Everywhere she sees cheerful groups of friends celebrating the weekend. It is still light and hot. The heat is intensified by the city. She feels so lonely, so small, as she walks here all alone on a Friday night. A moment ago, she was looking at a flat, and it seemed as she was about to get it. But when the landlord heard that she hadn't found a job yet, he didn't let her sign the contract. She had sworn to him that she would find the money, that she could afford the rent. He had looked at her with despise, and even if he didn't say anything, Ella could see precisely what he was thinking. She is a whore. No, don't think about that now. Ella shakes her head. It's Friday night, her first and last, a weekend in Stockholm. On Monday she will give up and go back home. But now, tonight, she is still free. She finds the closest pub and sits down at the bar. A gin and tonic, please. The bartender nods at her with a smile and serves her the drink in a highball glass. She is just about to pay when a man gives the bartender his card. Let me, he says. Ella looks into the man's eyes and notices that they are dark. A smile plays on his plump lips and his muscles tense under his shirt when he pulls out the stool next to hers and sits down. They sit like that together for a while in silence. Ella takes a nervous sip of her drink, fully aware that the man is watching her. Are you not drinking? She asks him after a while. The ice cubes dance round in her glass, and Ella feels a shiver along her spine when he smiles and shows her his teeth. No, I'm good, he says with a loud voice. The shiver moves further down. She feels warm in between her legs, and butterflies fill her stomach. She hasn't been with a man in a long time. At least, not a man this good-looking. She bites her lip and nods. She is convinced that he can feel it too, the electricity. He wants her as much as she wants him. She takes another sip of her drink and swallows the cold liquid quickly. She leaves the half-empty glass on the bar and stands up. With one hand on his shoulder, she bends forward and whispers, I have to visit the ladies' room, into his ear. Her hair brushes against his unshaven chin. She leaves the door to the toilet unlocked and leans towards the tiles on the walls as she counts to herself. 1. Did he get the hint? 2. What if someone else opens the door? 3. Maybe I misread him. Perhaps he was trying to be pleasant. 4. I will go home tomorrow instead. Ella is about to just give up and open the door when it opens from the outside. She gasps, but the gasp is quickly interrupted by him. His lips against hers and his hands on her waist. The weight of his body against hers makes her walk backwards. She bumps into the sink with her back and his body pressed against hers. His firm chest against her small breasts and his stiff cock against her soft thigh. The sensation makes her sigh straight into his mouth. She feels a tingle in between her legs. The blood rushes to her pussy, and it is warm and boiling. As if Ella was light as a feather, the man lifts her and puts her down on top of the big sink. When one hand on the inside of each of her thighs, he spreads her legs and walks closer, kisses her deeper. As his hands move upwards, she is already soaking wet. When his fingers reach her panties, when he feels how wet she is, he moans. He quickly moves her panties to the side. Their eyes meet and Ella nods carefully. He unbuckles his belt, pulls his zipper down, and lets his trousers and his underwear fall to the floor. The tip of his penis shines in the fluorescent light. Ella crosses her legs behind him and pulls him closer. So close that she can feel the tip of his penis in her opening. It takes all of her self-control, but she pauses and sits like that, with his cock pressed against her vagina without moving, waiting for him to enter her. She wants him deep inside of her. She wants to feel his stiffness against her softness. The man's eyes become dark and something primitive and wild takes over. She feels his strong hands grab her hard by the waist, and she receives him with her eyes closed.